There is a shaking in the spirit realm, and the sound of clashing forces has already begun to echo around your soul, though you may not yet realize the depth of what's unfolding. Archangel Michael has been dispatched not just as a guardian, but as a fierce commander in the heavenly armies, standing directly over your life this very week, sword unsheathed, wings extended, prepared to battle on your behalf for things you cannot see but are feeling with every part of your being. The sudden heaviness in your chest, the inexplicable waves of confusion, the rise of old fears you thought were buried, the delays, the misunderstandings, the emotional spirals, all of it is not coincidence. Heaven is trying to warn you, to alert you that a spiritual battle has begun and you are at the center of it. Not because you are weak, but because you are chosen, and your breakthrough threatens the very foundation of darkness that has tried to silence generations before you. Michael says there is a plot being unraveled, a sinister force that has been tracing your lineage, watching your habits, studying your mind, attempting to interrupt your sleep, cloud your vision, and numb your sensitivity to God's voice so you do not sense the urgency of this moment. But Archangel Michael is here now, and he is not whispering. He is declaring, "Wake up, chosen one." Heaven is moving for you. The enemy is targeting you not because you're failing, but because you're closer to divine alignment than ever before. The dreams you've been having, the sudden appearances of people from your past, the feeling that you're being pulled in several directions at once. This is all part of a spiritual crossfire, and if you do not ground yourself in prayer, clarity will be stolen from you. The enemy thrives in distraction and deception, and if you ignore the spiritual signs, you may find yourself sabotaging divine appointments disguised as small decisions. The way you respond this week, what you say, who you trust, what you release, and what you hold on to, will either fortify the angels around you or give permission to the enemy to enter through open doors of fear and doubt. Michael is pleading with you now, in the language of heaven, urging you to recognize the tremble in your spirit is not anxiety. It's a call to battle. This battle is not just for your future. It's for your name, your calling, your legacy, and the souls attached to your obedience. Heaven cannot afford for you to collapse under the pressure because someone else's deliverance is tied to your endurance. Do not underestimate the power of your prayers this week. They're like arrows in the hands of angels. Every time you speak faith instead of fear, every time you bless instead of curse, every time you surrender instead of strive, you're activating a legion of protection around you. Michael is standing watch over your home, your children, your purpose, and even the very thoughts that try to enter your mind when you are alone. This is not the time to shrink back. This is the week your armor must be worn even in silence, your spirit tuned to the voice of God, even when he speaks in stillness. The fight is not over your past. It's about your becoming. The enemy wouldn't be unleashing this much chaos if what's ahead wasn't sacred. You are not forgotten. You are not weak. You are not under attack because you're doing something wrong. You're under attack because your alignment is starting to break generational chains, and the enemy knows if you walk through this week with eyes open and heart guarded, you will come out on the other side more dangerous to the darkness than ever before. Heaven is holding its breath to see how you respond. Do not be distracted. Do not take this lightly. Archangel Michael is present, and this is your warning and your protection in one divine message. You were chosen for this moment, and you will not face it alone. There is a realm within the realm, an unseen battlefield woven between your waking hours and your private thoughts. And whether you realize it or not, your spirit has already stepped on a sacred ground. Archangel Michael has not come to soothe you with vague comfort, but to equip you with divine precision. For the fight you are in is not against what you can touch, but against what you feel pressing down on your chest when no one is watching. The enemy has studied your pattern of hope, your breaking point, and your spiritual blind spots. He knows where to press to make you second-guess the vision God gave you. But Michael says this war was predicted. Heaven marked this week as one of reckoning long before you were born, because this exact hour would become a pivot point in your destiny. This isn't just about you. It's about the assignment on your name, the promises stitched into your bloodline, the prayers whispered over you in rooms you've never seen. Every delay this week, every sharp word from someone close to you, every conflict that seems too small to be significant is actually being engineered to pull you out of spiritual position. And if the enemy can get you to respond in your flesh, he can hijack the blessing that's being transferred to you through obedience. But Michael is standing between you and that deception now. He is placing a supernatural awareness in your heart, a quiet but undeniable knowing that something bigger is at play. That tension you feel with certain people is not personal, it is spiritual. That sudden exhaustion is not just physical, it is demonic interference sent to quiet your praise and delay your clarity. The thoughts try to convince you that you're not strong enough, not worthy enough, not ready enough. They are not yours. They are spiritual intrusions, and Archangel Michael is lifting the veil from your eyes now, letting you see what you've been sensing all along. This is not just a hard week, it is a holy one. Your capacity is being expanded because the favor God is about to pour on you cannot rest on the version of you that was comfortable. It must rest on the version of you that has walked through fire and kept your faith intact. Michael is urging you to shift how you speak this week. What you declare over your life, your finances, your children, and your future must align with heaven's vocabulary. Because when your language agrees with God's word, angels are released to act. When you say, "I will not break," heaven responds with, "We will reinforce." When you say, "I am chosen," heaven releases resources. This is not spiritual imagination. This is divine strategy. The way you move this week is setting up the next 7 years of your life. Your future relationships, your elevation, your legacy are all circling this spiritual battle, waiting to descend when the victory is declared in your spirit before it ever manifests in your circumstances. That means you must protect your emotions. Do not let temporary frustrations cause permanent damage to things God is still healing. Michael wants you to know that some of the people creating friction in your life right now are not enemies. They are being used to sharpen you, to expose what still triggers you, what still wounds you, what still has power over your peace. Do not run. Do not numb it. Face it, armed with the truth that you are not alone, and that heaven has already assigned a protective force to stand guard around your soul. Michael says your posture determines the outcome. If you panic, you give the enemy ground. But if you praise, even when you don't feel like it, you confuse the darkness and empower the angels around you. The breakthrough is closer than it looks. Your name has been spoken in heavenly courts this week, not in judgment, but in affirmation. The Most High has said, "That one is mine. That one will not break." And with that declaration, a war began in the spirit realm, and you were given angelic backing. Do not mistake silence for absence. Do not interpret resistance as rejection. The delay is a divine decoy. It's meant to throw the enemy off your scent while heaven finishes preparing your reward. But you must stay grounded. Keep your eyes off distractions and your ears tuned to whispers of peace. There will be moments this week where it feels like you're under fire from every side, internally, emotionally, mentally, even financially. But Michael says these are not signs of defeat. They are signs that the transfer is close. The closer your destiny comes to the surface, the more violently hell will try to pull you under. But it's too late. You've been marked. You've been chosen. And this battle, though brutal, is only proof that you are walking into something that generations before you could only dream of. The sword is drawn. The angelic army is positioned. Now heaven is watching your heart. Will you trust what you cannot yet see? Will you hold steady, even when the winds howl and the shadows lie? Archangel Michael says, if you do, if you remain firm and faithful, what comes next will not only bless you, but break curses over your bloodline that were never meant to reach your children. This is the week where destiny requires your courage. Stand tall. Heaven fights with you. As the sun rises and sets across these sacred days, you may begin to feel something shifting beneath the surface of your daily life. A trembling not of fear, but of divine recalibration, as though unseen hands are rearranging the very fibers of your timeline. Archangel Michael speaks now with fierce clarity. What you are experiencing is not confusion, it is spiritual alignment being forced into position. Your soul is being summoned into a higher version of itself. And that is why old habits are becoming uncomfortable, old circles are feeling foreign, and even the sound of your own inner voice is beginning to evolve. This is what it feels like when heaven begins to elevate you. The resistance you feel is not punishment. It is the pressure that comes before divine birth. The enemy has sensed the glow building in your spirit and has dispatched distractions, delays, and double-minded thoughts to dismantle what God is putting in motion. But you must not yield. Michael says that this week, every word you speak is a weapon. Every silence you keep is a shield. Every moment you choose faith over fear is an invisible blow struck against the spiritual forces trying to dismantle your breakthrough. You may notice unusual tiredness, emotional surges, misunderstandings with people you usually get along with, or financial friction that comes out of nowhere. All of this is not coincidence. It is warfare designed to convince you that you're not supported, that heaven has gone quiet. But nothing could be further from the truth. Heaven is louder than ever. And the reason you feel the tension so sharply is because you are finally aligned with the frequency of your assignment. Your discernment is being sharpened. Your spiritual radar is being fine-tuned. And the enemy knows that if you endure this week with even a mustard seed of faith, you will step into a season of favor that cannot be explained, reversed, or withheld. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that the battle around your life this week is not merely about keeping you stuck. It's about blocking what you carry from being birthed. You are not fighting for survival. You are fighting for someone else's breakthrough. Your endurance this week will unlock healing for someone you haven't even met yet. Your willingness to pray when you feel empty, to speak life when you feel drained, to trust when everything feels uncertain. That is spiritual warfare of the highest order. Michael says you must treat your peace like a fortress. Do not allow everyone access to your heart right now. Not because you're better, but because you're becoming. And in becoming, you must be protected. You must protect your joy like it's sacred currency, because the joy of the Lord is your strength, and the enemy can't stop you. But if he can steal your strength, he can delay your destiny. But that is not your story. You've come too far. Heaven has invested too much in you to let you collapse now. The ancestors are watching. Generations of prayers that were spoken in silence by people who never saw freedom are now unfolding through your choices. This is why you feel what you feel. This is why the weight is heavier this week than usual. It's not because you are weak. It's because you are standing at the threshold of something so holy, so irreversible, that even hell knows it cannot afford to let you cross it. But Michael says you will. You must. And not just for you, but for the ones who are watching you silently, hoping you won't give up, people in your family, in your circle, in your spiritual lineage. You were chosen to break what others tolerated. You were chosen to begin what others never had the courage to even dream. That is not a coincidence. That is covenant. And covenants come with battles, but they end with blessings. So now, Michael is sharpening your awareness. Listen closely to your dreams this week. They carry messages. Pay attention to your intuition. It's being heightened. Even the people who cross your path right now are either carrying keys or carrying distractions. You must discern which is which. Not everyone who seems helpful is meant to walk with you. Some are sent to detour you with good intentions and bad timing. But Michael is assigning angels now to reveal motives, to highlight truths, and to expose what has been hiding in plain sight. Heaven is not playing games with your purpose. This week is not about surviving, it is about conquering. Every spiritual weapon in the arsenal of God is being made available to you now, but you must reach for it. You must pray not just with words, but with authority. Declare peace in your home. Declare healing over your body. Declare restoration over your finances. These are not empty affirmations. They are declarations of faith that mobilize angelic legions. Michael reminds you, you are not weak, you are wounded. And the difference is, wounds can heal. You are not lost. You are being led through unfamiliar territory. You are not behind. You are being hidden until the time is right. Do not confuse the fog for failure. You are in the fog because heaven is disguising your next move from the enemy. Stay still. Stay rooted. Keep declaring what God promised, not what you feel. Feelings change, but promises don't. The battle is heavy because the reward is holy. The pressure is painful because the outcome is permanent. This week is the battleground, but next week will be the victory. If you can endure this with faith, the blessing that's been waiting for you won't just visit you. It will rest on you. It will live in your home. It will multiply through your words. And it will redeem the years you thought were wasted. Michael is near. Your angels are fighting. Now all heaven is waiting for your response. And now, as the final wave of this message unfolds around you, Archangel Michael leans in with a gravity that stirs the air between worlds. For what he is about to reveal is not just sacred, it is strategic. There is something specific you must understand before this week completes. This is not only a spiritual battle for your life. It is a battle over your future lineage, your voice, your influence, and your light in places you don't even know you're destined to reach. The warfare wasn't just trying to discourage you. It was a calculated attempt to steal your spiritual inheritance before you recognized what it truly was. And now that you're awakening to the truth, the enemy is panicking because once a soul recognizes its authority, darkness loses its grip. Michael says this is the week you stop apologizing for your anointing. This is the week you stop hiding your gifts to make others comfortable. This is the week you stop running from the calling that has always chased you because it was assigned to your name before your first breath. Heaven never intended for you to play small. The world taught you that safety was in silence. But silence can be deadly when you were born to speak life. And now Michael says that your voice is a weapon in this battle, not just for yourself, but for others. Someone connected to you is depending on you to win this war. They may not tell you. They may not even realize it yet. But your victory is the signal their soul has been waiting for, the proof that it is possible to come out of the fire and still carry light. So don't hold back. This is the season to pray out loud. Walk in your purpose loudly. Declare healing loudly and worship loudly, because the enemy thrives in silence and heaven moves in sound. And when you speak what God speaks, even the gates of hell must retreat. Michael is placing a new robe over your shoulders now. Not a robe of shame, not a robe of victimhood, but a mantle of war-won authority. You didn't just survive. Your survival was a sermon. Your scars are scripture, and your story is becoming someone else's strategy. Don't be surprised if strangers begin opening up to you. Don't be shocked if broken people start finding comfort in your presence. You've been marked. Heaven has identified you as a spiritual first responder, someone who carries medicine for others, even while still healing themselves. And Michael says, the most dangerous person in the spirit realm is the one who still believes even after being broken. That's you. That's why you're being fought so hard. That's why the warfare intensified the moment you started choosing peace over pleasing, purpose over performance, prayer over panic. But you didn't fold. You didn't run. You're still here, still standing, still listening, and heaven sees it. This is not unnoticed. This is honored. And now, divine justice is being released. Every lie spoken about you is being reversed. Every delay is being recalculated for acceleration. Every betrayal that wounded you is becoming fuel for elevation. The people who dismissed you are about to watch you rise, not out of revenge, but as a revelation that no weapon formed against you could prosper because you are not protected by chance, but by covenant. And covenant doesn't expire when life gets hard, it activates. Michael wants you to know that as of this moment, there are angels standing guard at every spiritual doorway to your destiny. The access points have been sealed. The leaks have been patched. The sabotage has been exposed. From this week forward, anything not sent by God will fall away without your effort. You no longer need to beg for clarity. Heaven is making things obvious. The wrong people will remove themselves. The right doors will open without striving. You are being ushered into a realm of divine alignment, where what is meant for you won't require performance, only obedience. And the last thing Michael wants you to remember is this: rest is warfare too. Do not confuse busyness with progress. You are allowed to rest while the angels fight. You are allowed to breathe while God builds. You are allowed to retreat without forfeiting your crown. This battle was never about proving your worth. It was about awakening your awareness. And now that you know who you are, there's no going back. This week ends not with defeat, not with exhaustion, but with resurrection. The part of you that was tired of hoping is being resurrected. The part of you that stopped believing in miracles is being resurrected. The part of you that thought God forgot about you is being resurrected. And when you rise with fire in your bones, truth in your tongue, and angels at your side. You're not walking into this next chapter. You are marching into it like a warrior wrapped in light. Archangel Michael is still beside you, still shielding you, still speaking over you. And this final battle of the week, it was never to break you. It was to crown you.